So, Planetside 2 is fun. Really fun. There's so many things that you can do in that game. You can kill people for a long time. You can just go out and revive your teammates. You can heal your teammates. You can repair or give ammo to your teammates. You can just drive around in a tank or a car. You can fly some type of plane. You can shoot at other people. You can be a part of a hardcore team that goes out and kicks the other team's asses. But that does kind of get old after a while. Even though there are so many possibilities and things that you can do in Planetside 2, the game still does get old. Hey guys, this is ExOpsKilla, and I'm back for another gameplay commentary, and I'm going to be talking about a game mode I think they should implement into Planetside 2. Now obviously you can't implement a game mode in the conventional sense, because Planetside 2 is endless. The battle never ends. The war that you logged on, let's say Monday the 3rd, so say you logged on Monday the 3rd and you played for an hour, then you logged off and you logged back on Friday the, what would that be, the 8th? That's the same war, the same battles are going on with the same people the Friday as it was that Monday, because it's a continuous battle that never ends. So you can't really have game modes like in Battlefield 3, where you would play a game of, say, Rush on Bazaar, and then switch over to a game of Conquest and, say, a Metro or something like that. You have to have it implemented so that so you never restart, and it's always going and it's always interesting. So I think they should add the game mode of, like, MVP, or most valuable player. Now this is a game mode that I first got into with America's Army 3, and in that game mode there was one person who was very weak, only had like a pistol, and they had to be protected by the soldiers as they were escorted to the extraction point. Now, if they were taken out by the enemy force before they got to the extraction point, then they would lose because their MVP died. Now, if the MVP made it to the extraction point, then they would win because the MVP got away safe and sound. So the way I think they should implement this into the game right now as it is instead of having for bases where you just stand by a point, or you go to a generator and you just hold down a button while it overloads and then defend it, is I think in some bases, like some tech labs or some amp stations, they should have a building where there is a certain tool or device that you have to go and pick up in order to either capture the point or overload the generators, the major generators in that amp station or tech lab. Now, you could also do this by having a certain certification skill or certain class that can only, like, say, capture points or only overload generators. So, say, light assault can only capture points. Okay, so then the heavy assault, the medics, the engineers, the maxes, obviously maxes cannot capture points as it is, but they would all be support protecting the light assault because they are the most valuable person in that team at that time, because they can capture the base, only they can capture the base, and you have to have them in order to win that engagement. Or you could also do it by, you have to go to, say, a certain building in the base, then run all the way across the base, or next door, or whatever, to a generator. Now this would make it so that your teammates would have to protect this one person, this one central person, who is essential to capturing that base, or taking out the objectives. So this would incite more teamwork, more playing together, more communication, more skilled gameplay than just running over to a generator, or just a mad Zerg running over to the generator and holding down a button and seeing who gets the points first. You could also restrict it even further with only having a certain class being able to pick up that tool, which would then use it on the generator. So say an engineer could only pick up that tool. So you'd have to have an engineer, which is already kind of weak, well, in my opinion, because I played light assault, which has the jetpacks, which is really good. So the engineer would say, run over, grab that tool, and replace the tool with the primary, secondary, their repair tools, whatever the devs would decide on. And then so they would have to be protected by their teammates in order to run that tool over to, say, a generator, to overload the generator to make it explode. You could also put in kind of a rush element by once you get the tool to the generator and you have it overloading like it is right now, there's a time where you have to defend it before it explodes. Now, I am using some Battlefield terminology when I say rush. That's where there's an MCOM that you go up to, you plant the bomb, and then you wait for it to explode. And then you go on to the next part of the level. Or another thing that you could do to do the MVP type thing, but this is less of team because a lot of people could do this, just be a massive Zerg, is have, say, a certain class that when you started into an ability and you had it equipped, you wouldn't have a primary weapon, or say you wouldn't have a primary weapon, but you would have this tool which could go in and overload generators and like take capture points or just whatever. Because then you would be weak because you would only have your pistol and grenades in order to take out the enemy. So you would have to have your teammates to cover you and give you covering fire, and say you would have to fall back behind your teammates as they push up so that you would be safe, because they couldn't pick up the tool if you died, and because it makes you so weak as that class that why would you want to do that if you didn't have the tool? So there in theory would only be one person or two with the tool, the person with the actual tool, and then a person behind them. So if the guy with the tool dies, then the person behind them can pick it up and continue on through the base. Now, I personally think that this is a really good idea because it would get more people involved in the tactical gameplay of Planetside 2. Because as it is right now, it only takes one person to capture a base. Because there isn't the more people on a point, the faster it goes. That isn't in there anymore. That's no longer in the game. Now it's once you capture the point, it goes at a certain speed. So all you need is one infiltrator to go in, to ghost cap a point, and run away while it captures as fast as you can. That's too easy. That doesn't require any teamwork at all. That's really towards the solo play. And I know that some people don't team up. They don't play with other people. They just play solo. But you still need to get this team orientation into the game, because as it is right now, it doesn't have enough. Because yes, you do need people to help you to stay on that point, to push back the enemy. Yes, you do need help in some cases to hold the generator so that people don't come in and stabilize it. So you do need teammates in certain points, but you need more teamwork and team communication and more team gameplay than what's in it right now. So that is how I think that the devs can make Planetside 2 better and more team-oriented, and just a lot more fun, because I have, I think, over 300 hours played into the game, and it's like going on Battlefield 3 and just playing tons of Rush and Conquest over and over and over. Eventually, even though it's fun to kill people, it's fun to have that teamwork and play with friends, it's not going to be as fun forever as it is, say, the first time you do it. Because it will just lose that shine, it will just lose that glimmer that it had the first time. And now it's just the same thing over and over, which is one thing that I find bad in Planetside 2, because it is literally rinse and repeat. Because you go to a base, you capture the base, you move on. That's it. There is Conquest, that's another Battlefield term. That's Conquest, where you just go up and you stand by the point and you capture it. There's Rush, where you go up and you destabilize the generators and then they explode. Those are really the only two game modes that are in Planetside 2, and it's not enough. There's not enough diversity, not enough teamwork. So, last thing I'm going to say in this video is, if you guys agree with this topic, if you guys like this suggestion, if you could please put a comment in the comments saying why you like it or why you don't like it. Also, if you could like the video, like literally push the thumbs up button on the video and like it, and maybe even favorite it so that more people can see it, and maybe this small channel, my small channel, and this small video can have an impact on the future of the greatest game in modern gaming right now. So if you could just do that. I'm not doing this for my own personal glory. I'm not trying to get myself out there more, but I just want more people to see this video so that they can get the idea, say make their own videos on it, and get the devs to say, hey, That's a good idea. I think that would work very well in this game because it's just too bland right now. Like, I love it to death. I love to go shoot people in the future with jetpacks, with big huge max suits, but it just gets old after a while. Like, I play tons of that game every day, and it does get old after a while. That's why I have to play other games or do other things. So I hope that they see this and that more people see it, so that I can maybe have an impact on the future of my favorite and, in my opinion, the greatest game of this time. So I hope you guys liked the video, and I will talk to you guys next time. Have a good day.